Let me tell you a story, and I'm sure someone is going to get something from this. But before I go on with the story, hi, welcome to the DRBC Singles channel. My name is Princess, and your host here, just sharing relationship tips from a Christian perspective. So let's talk about that story. It's the story of a young family, okay? So this family, it's a couple who got married with high hope. They are Christians, and they are still Christians, but for some reason, they started to have issues after they got married. High hopes, beautiful honeymoon. From the outside, they looked like a perfect match, a perfect couple. But once the honeymoon ended, not too long after, reality hit hard. The home became a war zone. They had constant misunderstandings, they had sharp arguments and hurtful words. Within a year, the wife moved out of the house, and she moved back to her father's house. The husband said to himself, okay, that's fine. At least now I'll have peace. How did they get here? Well, it happened so fast. No one saw it coming. And when they both went for counseling, the pain was spilled out. The wife said, he doesn't love me. And the husband, he said, she doesn't respect me. Everybody was pointing fingers. The wife responded, how can I respect someone who acts like I was a burden to him? He treats me like I forced him into this marriage. And then the truth came crashing down. The guy dropped a serious issue. The husband looked at her and looked at the counselor, but poignantly at her. He said, yes, we were friends, but I never planned to marry you. You were always around me, bringing me food, buying me gifts, calling constantly, and showing up everywhere. Anywhere I turned, I saw you. You never gave me any space to process my thoughts. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, so I went along with the relationship, but I always had someone else in mind. I married you out of pressure, not love. She was shocked. It was like her heart stopped. Tears flowed uncontrollably. She looked at him and she asked, but why? Why didn't you just tell me the truth? You gave me every impression that you cared. Your words, your help, your constant attention. I thought you loved me. She wept and said, you should have let me go. I could have married someone who truly wanted me. We both could have been happy. But now, all that remained was heartbreak. Very, very, very sad story. There are lessons that every Christian single can draw out of this story. Never assume love. Confirm it clearly. Just because someone is kind, present, or helpful doesn't mean they want a relationship or they want to marry you. Seek clarity, not just chemistry. Love must be mutual, not one-sided. A relationship where only one person is emotionally invested, it will eventually collapse under pressure. Wait for someone who chooses you willingly, not out of guilt or convenience. Please don't force doors that God hasn't opened. Because pursuing someone who is emotionally unavailable or uninterested can lead to deep, deep wounds. Wait for God's yes, not man's maybe. You need to guard your heart with wisdom. Proverbs 4 verse 23 tells us that you need to be prayerful also. You need to be discerning. Love is not proven by gifts, presence, or attention alone. It must be rooted in, mutual commitment and God's peace. And timing is worth the wait. It's better to remain single and whole than to marry and feel rejected, trapped, or unloved. Please, don't rush the process. Pay attention to words and intentions. If someone avoids defining the relationship or downplaying commitment, take it seriously. Mixed signals often lead to mixed outcomes. Okay, so if someone, you guys, maybe you propose to the person and then you ask them and they start playing around and they're not straightforward. They're like, oh, why are you asking me this now? You're putting me in a tight corner, and saying so many things that appears like mixed information, mixed emotions. Please, my friend, whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Please and please, you need to pay attention to that, and you need to be careful. Okay? Because it always leads to wounds at the end of the day. It always leads to something that will hurt both of you if you force that relationship to continue. Healing comes from truth, not illusions. It's painful, but truth protects you from building on a faulty foundation. Be truthful to one another. Seek relationships where both parties are honest and intentional. I know in these days, people like, you just want to be with someone. Some people they just enjoy being with someone. They don't care if this is leading anywhere. They want to be with someone because of their looks. They want to be with someone because of how they, how they talk. They want to be with someone because of what they have, money or otherwise. But my friends, I'm here to tell you that money does not buy happiness. It does not bring happiness. Money or no money, happiness is something that cannot be bought. Now, this lady from the story, she got what she wanted. She married this guy. Maybe she likes him. Maybe he's been a friend, and then she became emotionally attached to him. But at the end of the day, after marriage, she's not happy. She's not happy. You can be friends with someone and be happy with friendship, but marriage might not be a happy one. That's why you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful how and why you're getting into marriage. Always ask yourself, what's my why? Who is leading me here? Why are you here? Are you pushing yourself into that relationship? Or is God saying this is the relationship for you? Trust me, if God is telling you this is the relationship for you, He will work on the other person. If God is saying this is the person, He will tell you to wait. And He'll give you the grace to wait for that person, to hear from Him clearly. And for God to do the remaining parts, like putting the love in your heart, not friendship, not you can have a loving friendship. Okay, the kind of love you have for a friend is not the kind of love that you have in marriage. There are different kind of loves. So you will ask God to place the same leading He has for you in that other person's heart, whether man or woman. And that's the only way that at the end of the day, that person will say, God told me. And the person can go to God and say, God, if you're telling me to marry this person, then you need to put the love for this person in my heart. We've had testimonies like that. So my friends, you cannot force someone to love you. And don't force yourself into any relationship, marriage. Don't force yourself to have someone propose to you just because of anything whatsoever. Their looks, their status, their spiritual stand, anything at all that you're looking at. If God is not leading you there, don't stick your neck there. Okay, and if you have been blessed by this conversation, this story, please drop a lesson. Let us know what you learned from it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friend, with your loved one, with someone who will benefit from the lessons we're sharing here. Thank you so much, and may God give us an answer of peace. Bye. See you next time.